Hello, students. Welcome to Module 3 in the Ethics Around the Globe course. This week, our topics are Aristotle's virtue ethics and Buddhism. Let's take a look at some of the ideas that you will be considering in Module 3. Your written assignment in Module 3 is for you to create a help wanted ad. And I'm going to show you a sample of what that ad needs to look like. So in Module 3, we will be considering the various aspects of virtue ethics. And since we are doing applied ethics in this course, it's very important that you are able to apply the concepts that we learn. So one way to do that is to consider what kind of virtues that you think an ideal job applicant should have. So in the Module 3 written assignment, you will be creating your very own help wanted ad for a marketing firm. You should be sure to include a job description, the requirements, 5 ethical virtues, and how to apply for the job. This assignment gives you an opportunity to be very creative. No APA format is required, and you should use interesting fonts, bold fonts, and clip art and pictures to create a really bold, attention-grabbing help wanted ad. Let's take a look at the grading rubric so that you'll understand how this assignment is going to be graded. So the Module 3 Help Wanted Ad is worth 35 points. In order to get full credit for the assignment, first be sure to create an attention-grabbing title. Include a brief summary of the entry-level marketing position. Do not change the name of the company. Do not change the title of the position. 3, be sure to list 5 desired virtues that the ideal applicant should possess. 4, detail the instructions for applying for the job. And 5, your document should read like a help wanted ad, not an essay. And please be sure to include proper spelling, grammar, and punctuation. So that assignment is worth 35 points. Let's talk about some of the ideas that we are going to be discussing in Module 3. We are going to be reviewing some of the ideas of the ancient Greek philosophers, and we will discuss these in more detail during our live session. That will be held Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So please be sure to attend that live session. During the live session, we will be getting an introduction to Aristotle's virtue ethics. Aristotle is one of the 3 ancient Greek philosophers. We talked about Socrates in Module 1. Socrates lived in 500 BC in Athens. Socrates taught Plato. Plato then taught Aristotle, who came to be known as the philosopher because his ideas are so important. One thing that Aristotle wrote about was virtue. Aristotle's virtue ethics is different from the ideas that we discussed in Module 2. Aristotle rejects duty-based ethics. He also rejects consequentialism and utilitarianism, and instead, for Aristotle, the focus is on virtue. So the objectives for Module 3 are to explain the basic ideas of a virtue-based ethics theory, describe Aristotle's ethical theory, give examples of what it means to be a good person according to Aristotle, and explain Aristotle's notion of friendship. We will talk about friendship during our Module 3 live session. So Aristotle wrote a great deal about how to live a good life. Happiness was an important feature in his ethics, but in a very different way than a utilitarian would consider it. For Aristotle, happiness was human flourishing. It was each person being the best person they could be. In order to do this, one should be virtuous. And many virtues and their corresponding vices are at play with one's interaction with his or her friends. So again, please be sure to attend the Module 3 live session on Wednesday, where we will discuss friendship in more detail. The next concept that we're going to be discussing in Module 3 is moving on to our Eastern ethical theories. And the first Eastern ethical theory that we will be looking at is Buddhism. Buddhism has many similarities to Aristotle's virtue ethics. One of the similarities that we're going to be talking about is really this focus on the golden mean and the middle way, meaning simply that the virtuous life is a balance of all things according to Buddhism and Aristotle's virtue ethics. As in Eastern philosophy, Buddhism is a spiritual path and a discovery. Foundation of Buddhism has been really in India. Buddha grew up in luxury as a prince, and his father tried to keep him from experiencing any. After experiencing the suffering of others, the Buddha gave up his princely life and that of becoming a future king to find a way of overcoming suffering. Buddhism is still a very strong and fundamental belief system in India. You've probably heard of some of these ideas: enlightenment, nirvana, karma, non-attachment, loving kindness. And today, the modern representative of Buddhism is the Dalai Lama. The Dalai Lama regularly comes out with his statements. He spoke out in support of the principles contained within the UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights. In 1989, he stated, "Without a sense of universal responsibility, our very survival becomes threatened, because basically universal responsibility is feeling for other people's suffering just as we feel for our own. It is the realization that even our enemy is entirely motivated by the quest for happiness. We must recognize that all human beings want the same way, and this is the way to achieve a true understanding, unfettered by artificial consideration." So think about some of the issues that are going on today confronting society in ethics: the war in Afghanistan, the global pandemic, the ethical dilemmas involving COVID-19 and the vaccine, and the restrictive measures and the masks. And think about whether you can apply the moral theories that we're learning in this course to resolve any of these ethical dilemmas. So we will discuss all of this in detail during our Module 3 live session on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. I will see you then. If you have any questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out, send me an email, and I will be sure to respond as soon as possible. Thank you.